Today is going to be all about rock installation, how to install rock, and why it is crucial to really prep the area well. So I'm going to go into kind of the steps on how we prep our area for rock, the type of edging that we use. I'm going to give you a couple different options, and I'll be sure to link them down below. And then I'm going to tell you the type of rock that we enjoy using and why. So let's dive right in. So we're on a project here today, and Bernabe is nice enough to let us follow him and demonstrate exactly the steps for us. So you guys get to see this in real time. This particular home, we're actually putting stone and mulch in. As you guys probably are aware in your own house, that mulch has a tendency to run, especially when we get those heavy, heavy Florida downpours of rain. So I commonly, in a lot of my projects, will do mulch within the planting beds, but right along the border of the walkway, right by the front entrance of the house, where you don't want that mulch kind of flowing over into the pathway or into the driveway area. I'll do a dividing line of edging and then do a swath of stone, because it not only looks kind of cool, but it really stops. It keeps everything so nice and clean, keeps the mulch in its place, and the rock kind of borders everything, and then gives you a little bit of highlight in the landscape. So that's kind of what we're going to look at here. But I'll break down the steps into 4 easy steps, and we'll kind of just walk right through those. So let's do it. So step 1 would be clearing out the area. So whatever the area is that you're going to prep for your stone, is make sure it's fully cleaned out. So if it's grass, if it's just landscape debris, if it's weeds especially, try to get the whole root ball of that weed out, just so you're starting with a nice clean base. And then take a moment and just kind of rake that area out, level it out the best that you can. It does not need to be laser level, but it does need to be kind of where it's not got lumps and bumps all in it, because the last thing you want is when we do have rain, you have like a little collection of puddles in the rock. So you kind of want that rock to be on a nice flat surface. So remove all the debris, level that area out. Now you're prepped for the next step. The next step would be a weed barrier. I will list the weed barrier that we use all the time on all of our projects. I absolutely love it. I'll list it down below. You want to make sure that you put that weed barrier in, cut it to size. So if it's on a curve, make sure you curve that weed barrier. If it's going to go around a plant, make sure to kind of keep it nice and tight around that plant, and then pin it in. Definitely on the sides, you want to make sure that you're working with a level playing field, so it should be fairly easy to, where it's not, leaning to one side or we're losing rock on one corner. So you want to kind of pin it in all the right places. It's usually on the edges and then one in the middle to really keep it nice and secure. So depending on how much width that you're working with. So weed barrier in, pin it nice and tight, and then step 3 would be to find an edging that you like. Whatever edging that you tend to use. Some people like to use real brick. Some people like to use, the concrete curbing. I'm not a fan of either one of them mainly for their permanent basis. I like an edging that you can pick up and you can move. My favorite of all time edging is the Viera edging. I like that it's pliable, it's movable, it comes in different colors. I use it on so many of my projects. I use it in my own house because if I change my bed's design like I tend to do, and you guys know I do, I can pick that up and I can, add a plant, add a tree, add a little island, and then add to that edging and kind of extend it out. So it's pretty easy to work with. Another edging that I use often is the edging that you're going to see here on this particular project. This edging is the aluminum alloy edging, and it is a fantastic edging to border stone from mulch. I don't necessarily love it as much for bordering grass from mulch, only because a lot of these mowers come through really hairy and have a tendency to run over top of edging, and that edging will kind of continue to sink if that keeps happening, or it could bend. The Viera edging is something that is pretty much, once it's in the ground, it's staked fully, you can pretty much run a truck over top of it and then you're a-okay. So I like using the Viera edging for that particular purpose. But in this situation, because we're not worried about any kind of mowers or anything like that over top of it, this is a fantastic edging to border the two. And it's kind of got a nice defined clean line. You really don't see anything but that top ribbed part of the edging once the rock is in and the mulch is in and pushed up against it. And it becomes a nice solid barrier. It's in, it's done, it's permanent. So it's going to do a fantastic job of keeping everything compact, everything just really like almost like a paver base. It's going to just be nice and compact. So So, step 4 would be, of course, now you're ready for your stone. So, you want to choose the stone, the right stone for the project. This particular spot, we're going to use the Tahitian gray granite to kind of complement the color of the house. And then I'm using the 1.5 inch here because it's the perfect size where it's not too big for an area, but it is. It compacts and knits really well because there's multiple sizes in this one. So it's an 1 to 1.5 inch is the size that I like to use. It does not roll, it doesn't move, it has more of jagged edges. So once it gets down and once it gets, all compacted together, then it just stays put. And we don't use a compactor, we don't even use a tamper on our edging because all that other prep work that you do beforehand, and now that you have the borders in place, you do not need to compact that. That's going to become, after a few rains, a nice solid base. So this is fantastic. Tahitian gray granite is a fantastic product to work with. Now, if you're doing a hill stone bed, like for a decorative landscape bed, then I love using the white river stone. You can use the brown river stone. Those are round rocks, so they do roll, so that's not something you want to use to walk on, but ideal to use as just a decorative feature in the garden. So you have those options. So yeah, so I hope this video helps. Just to let you guys know, in full transparency, I am an affiliate for the Buda Edging, and any of the product links that I'm going to link down below in my Amazon storefront, I do receive a commission. However, it doesn't cost you guys anything else, and it does help me in the long run. So I'd appreciate if you're going to buy it anyway. Buy it from the links down below. It's super helpful and allows us to keep making these videos. So thanks so much, and I hope that breakdown really kind of helps get you out in the garden and trying this project. So good luck, gardeners.